we go. Okay. It says we're live. So, welcome from the crossroads of America. A 1-hour talk show, shooting with disabilities, but we do talk guns, politics, or anything else that crosses our mind. Answer questions from the audience, just put them in the chat or email me at rickslifeasIseeit@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. I have a Patreon page and PayPal and all the other good stuff down in the info section there. So that's it. I got a question, but I'll get to it in a minute. All right. First in the chat tonight was Jason Stewart, followed by Mystic Guns. Then who else we got in here? Let's have a look. We're having a conversation, so I'm in here. Oh, Rich White, Sabrina's here. Raphael's here, so they're starting to come in. Yeah. Okay, let's see who we got. On the panel tonight, we've got up in here in the corner in the chat. We got Jason Stewart. How you doing?
Doing well, Rick. Thanks for the invite. Good to see everybody.
Yeah. Then we got New York Outcast.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for having me, Rick.
No problem. Then we got Rich White.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
All right. Then we got Squibload.
Yep.
All right. Then Wheelchair Luke.
What's cracking?
All right. Then we got the man, the myth, the legend, Patriot in the Dark.
Oh, hey, thanks, Rob, for having me on your show. How you doing, gentlemen?
All right. Your avatar's working.
Yeah, I'm on my phone, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway,
can't press that gun tube thing.
Okay. Now, what I was going to ask is, by the time I hit the live button and it says go, you're live. How long? There's actually a delay before it actually shows up, isn't there?
A little bit.
So I don't know if I'm catching it when I do that, and then I go into welcome from the crossroads of America. Are people missing that, or am I timing it right? So I might start counting to 5 or something before I start speaking. Just something. Anyway, what was I going to mention? Oh yes, I got an email this morning from my brother. As everybody knows, I mean, up to a couple of years ago, we hadn't spoken for almost 30 years because he holds a grudge. And,
no kidding.
And I mean, it was about 4 years ago. He sent me on my birthday. I got an email from him saying happy birthday. That was it. Just the one line, 2 words. That was it. So when his birthday came later on that year, I done the same thing back to him. Well, that went on for a couple of years. Now, last year he was asking me. Last year he actually wasn't happy. It was back in October. He asked me a political question about who I was voting for, and he goes, "I hope you're voting for Trump." This is what he said in his email. Anyway, getting a long story short, I got an email from him this morning. And he was asking me how my hip operation went. Am I up and mobile now and all that stuff? And where he was going about is the NHS, which is the, I think is it NHS? Yeah, the National Health Service. That's the free medical they get that the socialists want you to have over here. They said, not only are they sending him mail, they are now actually phoning him every week to get the COVID shot, and he's refusing. And he says, "I ain't taking this shot until it becomes an official vaccine, not a temporary vaccine." But he said they keep calling me. He says they haven't had enough tests on it yet. He said, "I ain't taking it." So I said, well, and I emailed him back. And I said, well, I agree with you. I said, it's getting bad over here too. I said, Senile Joe is got commercials on TV and the radio and everything else trying to get people to take it. So hey, where as far as personally myself, as far as I'm concerned, if you want to take the vaccine, go for it. It's your life. Do what you got to do. But I don't want to take it. And the only way I'm going to take it is if they force me into doing it. I.e., well, if you want your disability to continue, you got to take the COVID shot or something like that. That would maybe the only way I would do it, because I don't trust it. I'm sorry, I just don't trust it. No telling what they've got in that stuff.
Yes. And speaking about the vaccine, did you see and Joe Biden, did you see the video clip where he's trying to tell people to go to vaccines.gov or whatever it is, and he said everything but? So the first one he said was vaccines.com, then vaccines.com, then vaccines.com. He could not. It took him like 10 tries to get the website right.
No, I didn't. I missed that. I would have liked to see that one, but I mean, the last time I watched him, and I only caught it as I was switching channels, was I lost my mask. I can't find my mask.
Yeah, that was special too.
Yeah.
The last thing I heard the man say was, "We the people" means us. We the government.
Yes.
He did do that.
That's all I need to ever hear again from the man.
Yes, I've been talking to people about that. I said, didn't anybody pick up on that? When he said, we the people, that's us, the government. I'm thinking, God damn. But no, nothing's been said. No, I haven't seen no super gun channel mention it or anything. So,
Well, you know why they're not mentioning it, right? Because that really good news came out today that Squibb's governor got a big award from the JFK library, saying she was one of the best governors ever with the cough.
oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Is that a joke?
Whitmore, yeah.
No,
Yeah, they gave her some big award or something.
Yeah, and no, Jason, it's not a joke, Jason. That actually happened. I guess putting people in nursing homes so that old people can die from it when they're the most susceptible is being a good governor.
Yeah, get rid of all them old guys.
All right.
I mean,
thanks for the invite to the show, Rick. I think I must be sleepwalking or something. Awake. When I'm awake, I'll see you on the next show.
I mean, let's look at this realistically. You got Cuomo got a Emmy, and now you got Whitmer getting an award from the JFK Library, the two governors that are responsible for the most old people deaths from the COVID.
Yeah, well, see, the reason they're getting them because as horrible it is, all them people dying, and I said this before, it's freed up millions of dollars on Social Security to keep it going because they don't have to pay it out to all those dead people.
Man, that's like giving Hitler the Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah.
So, Time Man of the Year.
So,
and yes, that did happen. Hitler was given Time's Man of the Year award.
Yeah.
And I apologize for offending Squibb by saying it was his governor. It was actually Two-Eyed Moose governor.
Well, anyway, moving on. We've lost Wheelchair Luke. When we get to political, he drops out. So.
Oh yeah, sorry about that.
That's all right. It's not a problem. I understand. I mean, as I said, each to his own. So.
But yeah, when the man says "we the people" is we the government, I mean, truly, that I already know what he was, who he was. I don't need to hear anything else. I'm just wondering why we're all not in Washington D.C. right now.
I know. We the people. We're the government. So that is all you need to know, and that's all you need to know what they want. That they are in charge, not us. They are the rulers. We are the peons. So they think.
And don't forget, no amendment is absolute either.
That's right. He's bringing back slavery. Because if no amendment is absolute, the 13th, which bans slavery, is up for discussion.
Now wait a damn minute. I'm not with that.
Well, I agree with you, but isn't that what Joe Biden said? No amendment is absolute. So that means the 13th Amendment is not absolute. It's not written in stone. So slavery could be brought back.
Hillary Clinton says stuff like that too. So does Nancy Pelosi.
Those
amendments, that the Constitution's a living, growing document.
I'm just repeating what he said.
Yeah, and let's not forget Hillary Clinton's favorite book was dedicated to Satan.
Yes.
I mean, that's not a joke. That's an actual thing.
Yeah.
She has stated that Rules for Radicals by Saul Alinsky is her favorite book. When you open that up, on the very first page where the dedication is, it says to Lucifer, the very first radical.
Well,
Right.
They say the devil was a rebel angel.
Yeah.
So they kicked him out of heaven.
Yeah. And so no amendment's absolute. So we could lose the first. We could lose the fourth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but is that actually a false statement? It isn't, really. You would have to have a huge, the Constitutional Convention, but it is
true,
a true
because they did
statement.
that.
It's not anything that should or ever would happen, but if, of course, we've said that years ago that we wouldn't have to worry about, identifying as a water balloon and either.
But I know what you're saying, because when they banned alcohol, that was an amendment, right? Then when they done away with it, that was another amendment. So actually, the first amendment was absolute, because they had to do another amendment to change it, to nullify it. So the actual amendment was absolute. They made another amendment that overrid it. So I depends on how you want to look at it. But you coming from Michigan and having that governor.
I'm not saying it's right, but if
your views,
if you logically look at it, it is a correct statement. It's not a right statement and something that somebody in government should not be thinking, alone acting on, but it is a true statement, isn't it?
Yeah, but remember, a broke clock is right twice a day. But he just accidentally was right, because the way he was phrasing it wasn't that it would be overturned by an amendment, that no amendment is absolute. We can make laws that go against the amendments, basically the way he was.
He never said the laws. He said
no, but that's what he was
one
hinting at.
Statement is.
Yeah, but that's what he was hinting at, is why they could go ahead and do this gun control measures, because no amendment is absolute.
Well, his first statement before he rambled on about that was nothing he's proposing goes against the Second Amendment. He kept saying that, and then his next thing was to say, "Oh, well, the amendments can be changed anyways." So
yeah,
he's just up there rambling on.
He is rambling on, but their mentality is, as long as you can still buy a firearm of some sort, then banning certain firearms is not against the Second Amendment, because you can still buy a firearm. You might not be able to buy the one you want, but you can still buy one. That's their mentality.
Well, let's keep in mind, too, that this probably might not even be his thinking, because, the guy can't think as it is anyway. If you remember back to the debates during the Democratic primary, you had Kamala Harris saying that she was going to do executive orders and stuff to take everybody's guns, and Joe Biden was like, no, you can't do that. There's a thing called the Constitution that prevents that. And she goes, no, Joe, you're doing it wrong. You say yes. You don't say no. You say yes. Yes, we can do it. And what did he do? He almost parroted her in his speech, saying that exact same line.
True. Oh, she's running the country. Her or Obama. Both of them are doing it. You know? So, anyway, getting way off topic. Way off topic. You know, I'll just I saw Squib's video the other day when he went on the 2nd, when he took his dog for a walk, and he's wearing his firearm on his side. You know, I was wearing mine on the 2nd. I went down the fan because the 2nd was Sunday, wasn't it? I believe. I think it was Sunday. Help me out here, guys. Was it Sunday? Yes. I went down to the Family Dollar and I had my sidearm on. Now, normally, as everybody knows, I carry on an outside the waistband holster anyway, and I normally just pull my shirt over it. But all I did on the 2nd was I just took my shirt and tucked it behind my holster for the actual holster and grip was showing. So I done my part. And people do it here in carry open here in Indiana anyway, because it's allowed. Long as you have the permit, it's allowed to carry open. So there we go.
Did you guys see Night Strike's stream he's been putting out today?
No.
They're arguing down there in South Carolina. I'm not sure what's going on. Are they trying to take away open carry down there?
I don't know. I didn't watch. I didn't know South Carolina was having problems.
From the language that I was hearing, all of them, they're trying to confuse everybody, and they were saying things like there's no difference between concealed carry and open carry. It's still the same firearm. So they're changing the language to the signs, on the businesses where you can't carry. They're changing things to carry a bull on everything. So they're wanting to ban open carry, and seemed like they were wanting to go after concealed carry because they're putting the word a bull on anything. So they were wanting to ban any weapon that was carry a bull. They all stood up there and echoed the same thing.
No. Oh, Squib, Defense Dad has a question for you on your video. He said he's not criticizing, but he just wanted to know, do you top your mag off once you chamber a round? Or was that just because of the video you did that?
No, I don't. I mean, sometimes I carry 2 extra mags, but I mean, I'm not planning on going out there and, I'm not planning on getting into a gun battle. And if I do, I don't need a lot of ammo. No, I'm not worried about, no. Sometimes I carry without one in the chamber, and people, you must be afraid. And I want to go, asshole, I've been carrying guns longer than you've been alive. No, it's just, sometimes I don't carry with one in the chamber. And you got all these people that went to tactical bullshit training, and they're like, oh no, you have to do this, and you have to do that. Somebody commented on the video and said that it's wrong to open carry. And I said, that's your opinion, asshole. So, nah, man, I don't care. You can carry 50 mags, you can carry a drum, you can top off the mag, when I hunt, I've got 5 rounds in the mag. So that's why when I tell that story about me doing the mag dump into the deer, I had 3 rounds in the mag when I did the mag dump. And then I changed mag, put two more in the deer. So, I mean, it might sound, somebody goes, mag dump, he must have shot it 15 times. Like, no, I had shot a rabbit or a possum with some distemper earlier that day when we were tracking a deer. And I put 2 in it, so I only had 3 in the mag. So, I mean, there have been times where I've tried to shove that 8-round in the 8-round mag from my 1911 and it just don't want to fit. And I go, screw it, just leave 7 in there. I don't care.
Okay. No, I mean, he said he was just curious. He always tops his mag off once he does that. And be honest with you, I do too.
For the record, Rob demands that you carry one in the chamber. He says you're not a guy if you don't.
I don't care if somebody carries with one in their chamber or they don't. I don't care if they got hollow points or full metal jacket. I don't care if they top off their mag. I don't care if they don't carry. Like when I carry my M9, sometimes I don't carry an extra mag. I've got 15 or 16 rounds. I mean, what's the, but that's me. I don't really care what somebody else does, but there'll be people who make, those comments that, oh, you're wrong for that. You're wrong for that. Fuck you. Fuck you. Oh, yeah. But I mean, I don't care what somebody else does. And I'm not going to say, well, you got to do it my way or you're doing it wrong. I don't care what you do. Don't shoot me by mistake.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I carry a revolver with only 2 rounds in it.
Yeah. What it is when Squib was in the Marine Corps, he did some cross training with the IDF and he learned how to do Israeli carry. So that's why he doesn't carry one in the chamber.
Oh, okay. All right. Hey, easy to the road.
That's kind of that's an interesting way to look at it. I mean, I did some training with one foreign military, but no, not carrying with one in the chamber is kind of an old military holdover. It's the same people that seem to think that you carry a gun all around base all the time, 24/7, and that's not true. That shit's in the armory, So it's just old carryover. It's not because I'm afraid or some other stupid shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I tell you what, though, I know when I was working on the military bases for the government in England, the Air Force security police, they wore their guns at the main gate when they're waving you in. But because of some NATO agreement, they didn't, there wasn't around in the chamber because they weren't allowed to. They didn't want to. The only place they were allowed to do that was the ones who were guarding, like up in Bentwaters where I was at, they had nuclear weapons there. And any base that had nuclear weapons, the guards could carry a loaded weapon, around in the chamber. But anywhere else on the base, they couldn't.
But when I guarded the ordnance, that's bombs and missiles and shit. When I guarded that, I had one in the chamber, and that was stateside or overseas. But most of the other time, no. And that's you can't have an ND if there ain't one in the chamber. But what if what? What if somebody jumps out of the bushes to kill me? I mean, really?
Well, you say that. I watched a video this afternoon. It was put out by United States Concealed Carry Association, and that's exactly what happened. A guy his family was coming home. It was dark. His family went into the house. He saw something and he looked around, and a guy jumped out of the bushes with a firearm. He pulled his gun out of his pocket because he had it in pocket carry, and shot him. And the guy returned fire, but the guy shot another one and knocked him down. So, I mean, would he have been able to shoot him if he didn't have one in the chamber?
What I'm saying is carrying on a military base is different than carrying when you're getting out of your car in your neighborhood and it's different. People seem to think that because some of these concealed carry instructors were in the military, they must have learned that in the military, because in the military, you've got to be concealed carrying a gun with 1,000,000 rounds on you 24/7. And it's like, no, a military base is one of the safest places to be. And then I go, well, what about the shooting at Fort Hood? What about the shooting at Pensacola? Yeah, rare, very rare, almost unheard of type of situation. Again, an ND is more likely than somebody jumping out of the bushes.
Yeah.
So, and therein lies it's a matter of opinion. If you feel that you've got to carry that gun with you everywhere you go 24/7 and have it ready to go at a moment's notice and be able to draw it in a tenth of a second when you get out of your car in your driveway, You do you. I'm not criticizing somebody for that. If you want to take the time to train and practice and get that good and do all the stuff legally, hey man, go for it. It's your freedom to do that. All right. And if I don't, don't worry about it. You're not going to get the bill for the funeral.
All right. Now I do have a question, right? Because I carry all the time. But if you're out and about and you've got to go to the restroom, and take care of business. I'm not talking about standing up. So you got to drop your pants. What do you do with the gun?
Play with your pistol.
I don't, Rick. Have you been in a public restroom? They're disgusting.
Yeah.
Matt, Yeah, we know you've been in public restrooms, Squid, because you did a whole video series on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was for artistic reasons. No, what I mean is, I've heard the whole thing about leaving the gun on the back of the toilet or doing this or doing that. I guess I'll share something personal with you on this show. Squib doesn't do number 2 at some creepy gas station restroom. I might shoot a video in there and make fun of Midnight Range CM with the video, but I just don't know. I would have had to have something that really didn't agree with me the night before. So that's how I avoid it. Just don't do it.
Yeah. I mean, but as you just said, if say you had an upset stomach or something and you had to go, what is your suggestion? What would you do with the firearm?
Isn't your holster hooked to your belt? I don't understand why people got to set it somewhere. What are you, pocket carrying or something?
Well, no. If it's in your holster and you drop your pants down, I mean, you can leave.
I mean, I personally don't.
If your holster snug, it should hold it, right? But maybe what happens if it don't or whatever? What happens if it falls out? Or
I think
when you drop hands, it's going to clank on the floor anyway. The handle is the grip.
Okay. Oh boy. I guess I'm going to have to get creative here. I'm sitting here trying to picture this. I suppose I would hold my holster, slide my belt out, reattach the holster to the belt, fasten the buckle so it's in a loop, hang it over my neck like a soap on a rope, and then do my business. How's that?
Yeah, man, get a shoulder rig.
Yeah, I mean, just think about this. I mean, how about if you're appendix carrying, and you just got to go? I mean, does it get in the way?
Yeah. I've only went in hotels and home.
Yeah,
I don't go in public. I just whatever. But
no shit.
I don't. My holsters don't fall off.
I don't try to.
What kind of cheap holster are you carrying that's gonna fall off?
Shitting everywhere.
Well, what kind of holster are you carrying that won't stay on your belt or your pants? You don't use.
If I'm out and about, I just pull it out of the holster, and usually it's in my lap, in my hands, because I've learned from a personal experience a long time ago not to set shit down in a bathroom. Not that I left shit, but somebody actually reached over and snatched shit. So keep it in your possession and do your business. Put the gun away. A lot of times I'll do an inspection of the gun while I'm doing my business. So unless I'm home and I'm right, at home, I can set it on my little vanity and it's fairly close. But when out and about, the gun's in my hand. I'm not screwing around with a holster or nothing like that. So it's a perfect place for something to happen. Plus, if it's on the floor or somebody's rest area reaches over and snatches it, I mean, what are you going to do? You got your pants down. So it's just keep it in your possession.
You had some creep.
You keep your shoes off too and read the paper?
You had some creep in the stall next to you. Reach underneath the stall to get something.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, that is...
actually reach from the top down.
I thought he was going to say they reached in through the glory hole and got up it.
So don't set it, and if you don't set it anywhere else, you can't forget it. Yeah, it's like leaving your keys on a counter or something at the store or your wallet. You don't put things down there. You can't forget them there. So same thing.
You're more apt to catch something disease-wise before you're going to have somebody reach underneath and grab your pistol out of your holster.
I would.
Have you tried to pull a pistol out of somebody's holster when it's not on you? I mean, they're usually not designed to come out very easy if you're pulling sideways or something like that. And I mean, unless you're blind sitting there, kicked back reading a paper or something ridiculous, you can't see somebody. What are you focusing on? You can't see somebody reaching under there. I mean,
he's there with the Wall Street Journal.
I tell you, I don't know. I don't do the restaurant room thing, so.
No, it wouldn't be the Wall Street Journal. Rob's too cheap for the Wall Street Journal.
The USA Today that they just left there.
I just can't believe, as bad as the world is, in New York, you can't take a shit in safety.
Yeah, well, besides some creep reaching under the stall, I mean, I would douse that gun in as much hand sanitizer as I could find after I got out of there, man. Ugh.
Yeah. You stick your hand under the stall while I'm there, man. I'm probably going to stomp it and then use my gun like a hammer.
Yeah.
I hate you hang a sign on the outside that says you're not a politician.
Now, there's
a question I had.
There's justification, though, for not having one in the chamber.
It happens quick, real quick.
Yeah.
But there's justification right there for not having one in the chamber. If you're going to use that thing like a hammer and smash somebody's creepy, disgusting, under the stall hand, you probably don't want to have a live round in the chamber. So bash them and then rack the slide. Yeah, but you don't want to scratch up that pretty Beretta. What if you miss and hit the porcelain?
Yeah, see, I mean, that's what I was thinking. I don't want to damage my pimp gun.
Well, what do they do in jail with their pistol when they're using the restroom? Because they don't have doors, I don't think, do they?
I think
well, if you're in jail, you don't have a pistol on you to worry about.
Well, come on, some people do,
Correction officers have their own restroom.
They got enough things to worry about taking shit out of their prison wallet when they got to use the toilet, let alone where they're going to put their pistol, Jason.
Yeah. Hey, I was just curious. That's all. What is I mean, like Two Live Moo says, he takes his holster off, then he'll put it in the crotch of his pants. While he's sitting there. That's one way of doing it, I guess.
Maybe they should make like a temporary, like lanyard loop type deal for your shoulder, or your neck, or something to hold your pistol while you're in the bathroom.
Yeah.
That's why there's that lanyard loop on my Tokarev. Ah, okay.
Yeah, some pistols come with one of those lanyard holes on them, where you can tie something onto it. So there you go. You can undo your shoelaces. If you get caught off guard, you can undo your shoelaces. Take one of them, tie it around there, and hang it around your neck.
Yeah, just get a milsurp belt lanyard, and you hook that onto your belt, and you hook the other end onto your pistol, and then if it falls out, you just drag it across the floor with you. That's all.
Tie the other end on a little bell, and that way if somebody's reaching there to get your pistol.
You get one of those little chain key fob things that hook to your belt, and it's like an elastic. It pulls out, and then it rolls back in.
Or better yet, get one of the old-fashioned chain ones.
Or you could carry a pistol like the Wild Wild West that shoots backwards at the guy that holds the gun. So you could lay it down there, and you'd hope that somebody would take it.
Yeah. Didn't they do that on an episode of Get Smart, too? They were always putting goofy guns and things on Get Smart.
Oh, okay. Now, dude, I misread it. He says, "I don't take it off the belt. I just laid the holster gun into my pants while still on my belt." There you go.
Okay, what is with you guys that have got to constantly shit everywhere you go? Are you marking territory or?
Hey, some people you never know. You don't have to go when you leave home, but when you're 10 minutes down the road, all of a sudden because you're moving, your system starts working. You
Yeah,
know?
that or they eat a lot of Taco Bell.
Yeah, White Castle.
Yeah. So, it was just a question I was asking. That's all. I was just curious. You know. So I mean,
Welcome to Rick's Dropping a Deuce channel.
What do you do with your handgun? Yeah.
What do you do if you're out fishing and you just got to go up into the trees and lean against a tree, man? I mean, do you keep your weapon in your hand and ready in case you need it, or what? Because there you might not so have to worry about like the human predators. Now you're facing Mother Nature, so you might want to have it in your hands. You know what
That's
I mean?
what you have a sling for.
That's why a snake might come up and bite you in the ass.
Well, only if you pee on it first.
We were in Panama in jungle school, and Winifred McCaskill was out taking a shit, and Hakuna Monday came up between his legs and surprised the shit out of him.
Hakuna Matata?
It's something like that. It's like a big ass raccoon. It's like a raccoon that's about 6 inches longer and taller legs.
No, shit, that would have scared the shit out of me. And I was already shitting,
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
You guys ever see the episode of Crocodile Hunter where Steve Irwin's looking for rattlesnakes, and all of a sudden he hears a bunch of rattles going off? He's like, "Oh, I found them!" And all of a sudden he hears one right below him. He looks down, and there's a coiled rattlesnake right between his legs.
All right, Rick, I've got a solution for you. The Army has what they call the battle buddy. So what you need is the bathroom buddy. So when you have to go take a number 2, you have your friend go with you, and then before you go into the stall, you unholster your firearm, you have him hold it, and then you do your business. Maybe you strike up a conversation while you're in there, and then when you're all done and you're all washed up, he gives you your weapon back, your bathroom buddy.
I think Squib just hit on why women always go to the bathroom in pairs.
Yes. That is why they're going in pairs, because one of them's carrying. Makes a lot of sense.
No, they go in pairs because they have other secrets besides concealed carry.
Yeah.
You guys are still talking about that.
Anyway, moving on. I don't have a topic. Do any of you guys got one?
Happy Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, fuck that.
We don't care about the French anyway.
Just say Mexico. Come on.
Yeah.
Depends on where you live. It's kind of hard to tell.
Are they celebrating down at the border?
No. Well, maybe at the border. They don't celebrate in Mexico. What are you talking about? It's not their Independence Day. That's September 16th or something.
Isn't Cinco de Mayo? Oh no, I'm getting that mixed up with
when they kick the French out.
Yeah, but doesn't
Mexico.
one of the other Latin American countries has got one of those too, like Argentina or something, like the 25th of May or something. I don't know.
They had like Boulevard Day or something down in South America, where all these countries celebrate Simon Bolivar's birthday or whatever it is.
You know what the number one question is today on Google?
What?
When is Cinco de Mayo? What date is Cinco de Mayo?
Google ought to screw fair.
Well, if you don't speak Spanish, I mean.
All those people voted for Biden.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mr. Biden. Oh God, I just
had to drink girly beer.
Can we just go back to talking about bathroom carry?
Yeah.
I mean, now wouldn't a shower gun apply for that? So if you're going to be traveling and apparently you have loose bowels, just take your shower gun with you and you're good to go, right?
Yeah.
That would be a good use for a Glock right there.
Yeah.
It's got the maritime cut so the water drains out of the firing pin.
Yeah.
Well, that was the reason I stopped carrying in the butt. carried in the butt bag that was the fanny pack that was on my front side because I couldn't do my business without taking that damn thing off.
Oh. So no, yeah, I mean, I can see where you're coming from on that one. So, yeah. I don't know. I'm speaking now.
Boy, that could go a lot of ways.
Yeah, I'm not saying a thing. I'm not going to say a thing.
I got kind of a question you could throw out there. It's more of a Saturday question.
Yeah.
Since they were brought up Mexico and all that stuff, the administration's trying to do like send money to the triangle or whatever.
Yeah.
Now understanding what they said, we're wanting to stomp out illegal immigration by sending money to fix problems down there so they'll stay. So think of that as a home invasion situation, right? So what they're saying is if somebody breaks into your house to steal something, you should go to their house and buy them a TV or whatever they need to keep them there. Is that the same kind of situation?
Yeah, it's no different than Baltimore. They're wanting to pay gang members not to kill each other.
Yeah. But also, mind you, all they're going to do is they're going to smile when they hand over the $4 billion, then keep on doing what they're doing. Because you can't buy friends.
And these are the most corrupt governments in the world,
Yeah.
so none of the money trickles down anywhere.
Just like
you can buy friends.
I mean, that's just like senile Biden wants to be friends with Iran. What's he going to give them? And they're still going to do what they're going to do. I mean, they're now. I mean, Iran's the home of that's Al-Qaeda. How you pronounce it? That's their new home. Is Iran, and Biden wants to get in bed with them.
Trump got a lot farther cutting off those triad of three countries than giving them money.
Yeah. He cut them off, and then they started doing what they wanted. They kept the people from leaving, or their borders, or whatever. Give them money. They're going to keep on doing what they're going to go. They're going to smile, and as soon as your back's turned, they're going to go soccer. That's what they've been doing to America and Obama for 8 years.
Okay, why don't we turn Mexico into the new China? Stop buying shit from the Chinese and have everything made down in Mexico instead of in China. And they've got so many jobs down there that I mean, then they don't have to come here because they can have a better life. Problem solved. And it takes less time for shit to get here.
Actually, talking about jobs, did you know, Indiana, we have a problem? There's so many jobs going, they can't find people to work them.
No, that's everywhere, Rick. It's not Indiana. That's the entire country.
And the reason
that's here too, Ben.
And the reason they can't find anybody is because these people here in Indiana are earning more on unemployment than what their actual paycheck was.
Wasn't there a city that said that they were going to stop the unemployment because they had too many jobs that weren't being filled or something?
Basically, that's what's happening here in Indiana. That nobody's going back to work because they're getting too much money off unemployment.
Yeah, my stepmother's a dental hygienist, and the two other dental hygienists haven't come back for 13 months because they're still getting unemployment. They were afraid to come back to work.
Yeah.
Well, here, you really don't have that much choice on employment. If your employer says they want you back and you don't go back to work, they shut your unemployment off.
Yeah, that's what they do here too.
I mean, and if you when you're on unemployment, it's supposed to be you can't refuse a job. Any and all work, even though, like I say, oh, well, this place I can get a job, but it's third shift, but I don't want to do third shift. Doesn't matter. It's any and all work.
No, that's not true.
So, in
That's not what it
Michigan,
is.
Here, all you have
Michigan-
to say is, I feel endangered and I don't want to go back because dental hygienists are exposed to everybody's open mouth, and I don't want to be exposed to, COVID.
in Michigan, if you're out of work because you have COVID and you're on the 14-day quarantine, or you were exposed to somebody who had COVID and you could potentially have it and you're on the 10-day quarantine, then you have to mark that on your unemployment application. But if you're out of work, or if you're furloughed by your employer, like we were last year for 3 months because of COVID, that's on your application. But if you're just out of work because you're out of work, when you file every 2 weeks, you have to list all of the places that you applied at, where you interviewed, when, was it in person, over the phone? You have to put down all that information. If you don't have some legit information, they're going to cut off your unemployment. So you still have to look like you're making the effort to find, I think it was 2 or 3 jobs a week, something like that. So, I mean, and I know each state is different, and there are ways to milk the system. There are so many people that know exactly how to get the max amount out of every form of government assistance that's out there. But it's just, if they had more checks and balances, they had more accountability, had these health inspectors out there looking at people claiming unemployment when they don't need it, instead of shutting down the barber shop, they might save the taxpayers some money.
I'd only been on unemployment like twice, I think. It was just some short times, but this was like, I don't know, 20 years ago. But Michigan had that Michigan Works or something, some website.
Oh, yeah, they
you
still
would
have
to
that.
log
Yeah.
in.
Yep.
That's still
Marvin, yep, it's a pain in the ass.
where you got it, and that's where you're doing all your signing in and applications, all that stuff.
So I was out of work for a month, and I hadn't filed unemployment in like 20 years. I didn't know what to do. I hadn't done it on a computer, that's for sure. I was back when there was still, carbon copy paper and stuff like that. And I misunderstood the instructions. And after I filled out all the horse shit online and all crossed the T's and dotted the I's and all that, apparently I was supposed to make an appointment and go down to the local Michigan Works office and then file there as well. And I didn't know that. So by the time my unemployment should have come in, it didn't come in. I'm like, what the heck's going on? And I'm on hold. I'm, trying to call and finally get through. Oh, you have to go to the office. You didn't go to the office. Well, just go down there. I go down there. I had to set up an appointment, go down there. I filled out everything all over again, but this time on paper instead of on my computer. I go, this is all the information you guys already have. When it's all said and done, I got screwed out of 2 weeks unemployment. I had to get a judge involved, and the judge looked it over and said, nope, screw you. State's going to keep their money. And that was that. And I had no recourse after that. And it's like, it isn't worth, for me, it isn't worth the hassle. I guess somebody making $5 an hour, it is. But for me, it is not. Sometimes I'm a little bit ashamed to be on unemployment, to tell you the truth. I wasn't raised that way.
Alaskan 556, he's hitting the nail on the head. He goes, you all need to understand that the Democrats want all of us on welfare and food stamps because they want to control us.
Oh hell, here in West Virginia, if you try getting cash assistance, they have West Virginia Works, basically the same program Squid was talking about, but it's for people on welfare. They have to show that they are at least looking for a job, and if they get offered a job, they have to take it or they lose all their benefits.
Doesn't West Virginia have a high? Even without COVID, don't they have a high unemployment rate anyway?
In state jobs, and depending on what part of the state, everybody basically lives here where I live, either works for the college, a doctor's office, or they work out of state. Because we're like right between Maryland and Virginia. So they'll either work in Virginia or Maryland. But the western part of this state, I couldn't tell you. I don't live. So, but yeah, as far as that's concerned, I mean, it depends on what part of the state you're in. Like you go to Morgantown, and there's all kinds of jobs in the Morgantown area. But that's where the WVU is, and they have all these like research facilities and stuff there.
Oh, all right. All right.
Are
And
they
that's
still
another place people work. I forgot. That's another place people work here too. We have Rocket Center, West Virginia, which is a town that nobody lives in. The town is owned by the federal government, and they do like rocket testing, make munitions for the military and that kind of stuff there.
Are they still digging coal and selling it to China? Is that coal still being dug up and going out of to China, or not?
Well, they're still digging coal, but not as much as they were, thanks to Obama. Trump was starting to reverse all that, and then Biden wants to shut it all back down again. So who knows what's going to happen there?
It is here in Ohio, Wield. Our big coal mines in southern Ohio are owned by the Chinese now. The government said we couldn't use the coal anymore for the sulfur content, and for years we were blending it with West Virginia coal to dilute it some, and they finally said no, you couldn't do it anymore, and shut down our coal here. And within no time at all, the Chinese stepped up, bought everything out, and now all the trains that are coming and going just packed full of coal every day. Instead of them headed toward our power plants, I would imagine they're going all the way across the country and going on a boat to China.
Yeah, here, most of the coal mines in West Virginia are actually owned by our governor. Jim Justice, that's how he made all his money, was in the coal industry. He owns almost all the coal mines in West Virginia now.
My brother works on the railroad, and he said no coal is coming down here to the power plants anymore.
Go ahead, Jason.
I was just gonna say when AEP, who was running the coal here, when they shut the coal off, it's like you were going to work one day, the next day you weren't. The equipment was left in the fields, the trucks, the dump trucks, the haulers, the equipment, everything was just like left in place where you shut it off on Friday night, and like the very next day, you no longer have a job.
Yeah. Oh, gun-loving grandpa just said the Texas constitutional bill just passed.
Okay.
I was watching Clover Tech today. That he had a 7-hour marathon, I think. When did he end it?
Hey, how about them Cowboys?
Oh, hell, the other day he did a 10-hour.
Yeah. So if it passed the Senate and it's passed the House, so now it goes to the governor to be put into law. Constitutional carry in Texas. So that'd be 21 states, won't it?
22, Clover was saying.
No.
Yeah, 22.
I got a letter. I got a letter back from my state senator today, because I sent her four emails about constitutional carry here in Indiana. She finally said, "Well, it's not going anywhere, but we're going to keep on trying. We're going to try to submit it again." But the way I look at it is the chair. I can't remember her name now, but it's a woman who's the chair of the committee that refused to do it. When the elections come, she should be out and elect somebody else. She ain't doing her job, as far as I'm concerned.
When they passed constitutional carry here, the governor at the time was a Democrat, and he vetoed the bill. It went back to the legislature, and both houses overrode his veto. A combined 7 people in both houses voted not to overturn the veto. His veto was overturned in a landslide. Both Republicans and Democrats voting to overturn his veto.
Yeah. Oh, gun-loving grandpa says he's still going live, well and well armed. He's still live now.
So how many hours is that?
I don't know. I know he started it early today. But be honest with you, it's nice that he's doing it, but and I'm glad that it's passed. But really, listening to Texas government work didn't really interest me.
Yeah, that's the way I see it too. It's like that's nice, Clover, but I don't feel like sitting here watching 7 hours of Texas politicians arguing over whether they should have constitutional carry or not.
Now, if he was doing one on Indiana doing it, then I would sit and watch it.
Well, it's
Well,
just
that's
like
where you live.
it's like the communist states that drag the rest of us down. Okay, but this is the opposite. Great, Texas is getting constitutional carry. That's not going to do anything. I'm over 1,000 miles away. I mean, great. I'm glad you guys are getting it. I think everybody should get it. Every state should have it. It should be the law of the land. However, I would be more interested in Indiana or Ohio getting it, because if they got it, then Michigan would probably follow suit. But
Yeah.
Texas is too far away. It's just,
Yeah. I'm surprised we got stopped because Kentucky has it now. And so I thought it was working its way up. It really was.
Kentucky, Missouri.
Yeah.
And
We're almost surrounded by it.
yeah, almost every state that has constitutional carry is connected. If you look at the map, it goes from West Virginia in the east into Kentucky, then into Missouri, and then down through a
Georgia
corridor
doesn't
there.
have it.
Well, you're not in that corridor. See, if you look, it's all like Midwestern states, and then it gets up into Kentucky and West Virginia. It all goes down. It's all like connected in that one big clump in the middle of the country.
Yeah. Oh well.
The two outliers would be New Hampshire and Vermont.
You got to have constitutional voting before you can have constitutional carry.
Yeah, we don't have that.
Yeah, we don't have that.
if we got rid of if we had constitutional carry in Michigan, then we would have a springboard to stand on to get rid of handgun registration. But as long as we don't have constitutional carry, I think that we're going to be throwing money and time into the fireplace if we try to go after that without it.
If Michigan had constitutional carry, everybody there would carry a knife.
I should say
They do.
Arizona is an outlier
I
too.
was going to say rule number 9 is always carry a knife.
Does Arizona touch any other states with constitutional carry? I don't remember. Does Utah have it?
If Utah doesn't, then they will soon, but I think they do.
I think they do as well.
Idaho, I think, does, don't they?
I don't know.
I think they do.
Iowa was one that just got it, if I remember correctly.
Tennessee's got it too, doesn't it?
Yeah, Tennessee. But Tennessee's in that corridor that's all connected. Because you got, well, it's going to be Texas now, then Oklahoma, then you got Tennessee, Arkansas, Missouri, Kansas, Kentucky, and West Virginia, all in that clump of states right there, basically the center of the country almost. With West Virginia being the arm that comes off the side of Kentucky.
Okay, you got Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, Idaho, Kansas, Kentucky, Maine, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, New Hampshire, North Dakota, I think Oklahoma, South Dakota, Tennessee, Utah, Vermont. I don't know if that's an up-to-date list, but that's what I've got here so far.
Yeah, see, the problem with that list is too many states on that list are poor and cold. So, yeah, good for them, I guess.
Hey, Rick, what kind of town is Indianapolis? Is it Democratic?
No, absolutely.
So, like your biggest town, even though the rest of your state leans Republican, your biggest city is Democratic.
Yeah, and then Bloomington's Democratic because that's a college town. You know. Yeah, the main two big cities in the state are Democrat.
See, that's what's happening here in Ohio. You got Cincinnati, Columbus, and Cleveland, and they're always Democratic. And then the whole rest of the whole damn state everywhere else is red.
Well, that's like, yeah. I mean, that's what down in Texas is the same thing. All the big cities are Democrat. Even our state that we run our guns into, right, is a very red state, except for the city, and that's what's causing that they have more votes in the city of Chicago than they do in the rest of the country, rest of the state, I should say.
Yeah, that's what happens here. Those three cities can dominate the elections, and then the whole rest of the state we barely win. We barely stay red by like 51-49. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just because of three cities.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's like, then take it on the bigger scale, the country. You got by states, California, New York, Pennsylvania. Basically, those three could just use those three for the elections. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Rick, we got the same problem here. More people in Detroit voted for Biden than live in Detroit. Wait.
Mm-hmm.
How's the Arizona recount?
I was just saying, a couple more years, there's going to be like 5 people living in Detroit anyway.
Yeah. Up until George W. Bush, West Virginia was actually a blue state, and that's because the coal union always voted Democrat. But when Gore was running, the coal union started voting Republican, and that's what flipped West Virginia red. Was the coal union flipped because because of all the environmental policies. Their environmental policies were going to kill their jobs, so the coal union started voting against the Democrats for that reason. Here in West Virginia, they were voting to save their jobs.
Yeah. That's right. I'm just writing something down. I can't walk and chew gum at the same time. Okay. All right. It's 8:00. So it's time for me to wind this up. And I want to say, been a great conversation. I would carry it on longer, but I'm hungry. I know I should eat before I do the show, but for some reason I just don't. I always feel that I'm going to overrun or something and be late for the show. That's why I don't eat. I know it's silly. That's why I can never work. I hated working second shift. Absolutely detested it because I wouldn't do anything in the morning in case I was late for work. It just weird. So
yeah, Rick, I feel the same way.
I know people who can go do their laundry, do their shopping, go out places and come home and still get ready for work. I can't do it when I was on second shift. So, all right. So anyway, let me go through the panel here for plugs and shout outs. Let's start with Jason here in the corner.
Thanks for the invite, Rick. It was a good show tonight. Had a good time. And hopefully I can do a show next Monday in the evening, 8:00, 9:00, something.
Okay.
Thanks for the invite. Good to see everybody.
That's good. Okay. Now, the most talkative person in the show tonight, New York Outcast.
Yeah. I don't have anything. Thanks for joining us, and have a great night, everybody.
You were very quiet tonight.
We offended him with the Wall Street Journal joke, I think.
No,
multitasking. I was going over my truck for some preventative maintenance and had to swap out the wiper pulse relay as well because it was acting funny the other day. So had it out of zone, had to bust out the big bucks, $25 for it. So figured I'd throw that in, trying to get stuff handled and participate.
So your mind wasn't on the show; is more on fixing your truck. So I see how
it was, but you guys were rolling pretty good, so I would have had to cut in and whatnot. So
yeah,
no big deal.
You cut in on the important stuff, like how do you go to the bathroom with a gun? So You know.
Yeah. I'm not worried about the politics.
Yeah. All right, Rich, you got anything?
Yeah, let's see. Saturday nights we do the wrestling show on this week on Unloaded Media. I almost forgot what channel my channel was. I was reading my avatar instead. It's at 9 p.m. Eastern. Well, 9:05, excuse me, because we go by the old TBS time when TBS was behind everybody else and had to start their shows at like 6:05 was the wrestling show on Saturday nights over there. So that's what me and Ellis decided when we started doing the wrestling show. We were going to do it at 9:05 and pay homage to that. So if anybody's wondering why it's 9:05, that's why it's 9:05. But and then Sunday we do This Week Unloaded, usually on Sundays anyway. I kind of fell asleep this Sunday, so I didn't do a show. Wife woke me up at about 11 o'clock. She's like, why don't you go up to bed? I was like, what time is it? She's like, it's 11 o'clock. I was like, oh, shit. Anyway, yeah, that's at 8:30. Same channel, Unloaded Media. So check out This Week Unloaded, and Saturday nights, if you're into wrestling, check out our show over there for that.
Okay. Squib, you got anything?
Thanks for the invite. Thanks for letting me get grouchy and irascible when it comes to gun carrying questions. Usually a question's followed by an argument. So I don't, it's not that I mind answering questions or having a discussion about how you carry your gun or where or what, but almost, I'd say more than half of the time, the conversation or especially questions usually end up leading into an argument. So I just start getting irascible right out of the gate. So thanks for letting me be that way.
No problem. No problem. Okay. Willed and well armed. You got anything?
Thanks for having me. And I've got more holster draw from that pouch holster. I got it down between 2 and 3 seconds, and then I also got hopefully a rare breed full auto trigger coming. Well, full auto, your trigger vibrates, but anyway, should be, if I could get done with editing, that'll be out this weekend.
Okay, sounds good. And the one and only Patriot in the Dark.
Oh, well, thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Good show. Nothing new. I mean, I've got some things cooking, but that's about it.
Yeah.
I might be doing a request, so you might want to look for that, maybe.
All right. Damn,
that's about it.
Yeah, go on. I got goddamn ink all over my hands. Damn, goddamn. That's right. While we were talking, I was reloading because I don't know if you guys know. I don't know if you can see it. I write with a fountain pen. Here, I went back to this last year, writing with a fountain pen. So I was, I got my bottle of ink here, and I was filling it up, and it got all over my fingers. So thank God it ain't permanent ink.
Yeah, that's the bad thing about those fountain pens. They write really nice, but they are messy.
Yeah. I mean, it reminds me of school writing with it because I was brought up in England, and when I went to British school, everybody used a fountain pen. That's what we learned to write with. So anyway, that's another story for another day. All right. I want to say thank you to everybody in the chat for being here. I really do appreciate it. We had a couple of shooting with disability topics, but not many. If you guys got anything you want, email me and I'll bring it up, use it as a topic, for this show. But I also say I do guns, politics, or anything else as well. But I do try to keep it shooting with disabilities. But, it doesn't always work out that way.
Yeah, and don't forget, go answer Rick's trivia question, you deadbeats.
Oh, I'm glad you mentioned that. Every Wednesday I forget to do it. All right. The quiz for this Saturday. You got to get in by 12 noon. What is the main handgun used by the main character, Spike Spiegel, in the anime series Cowboy Bebop? I want to know what gun he uses. Email me at rickslife@gmail.com or spottyrick@gmail.com.
And it is a real handgun.
Yes.
It's not something that was made up for the show. It is an actual real handgun. Every gun that was used on that show is a real handgun or a real firearm, I should say, or a modified version of a real firearm. The gun that the character used is a real handgun. All he did was change the grips on it. If you go over and you watch This Week Unloaded from 2 weeks ago, you may find out what the answer is. You don't have to do a whole lot of research.
Yes.
Or you could go to my channel and get the answer.
On one of your videos.
Yes.
I think it was last Saturday, I believe.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So there you
Or
go.
you can buy one of my display stands and have a cool display stand.
I wish I had I mean, look at my poor AR. It's leaning up against my toolbox down because I don't have a stand to put it on. You know? So.
Speaking of Rob's display stand, there's the link for that. If you don't have one, that's where you can go and get one.
Yeah.
Just do it right there in the YouTube chat.
Yeah. All right. So that's it. So I want to say goodbye to everybody. Thanks for stopping by. I'll be back on Saturday at 3 p.m. with Rick's Life as I See It. So I will see you all then. So good night, everybody.
I just want to say I hate you, Pondry.
Good night, Sabrina.
Oh, yeah. He says he has it.
With the correct grips.